to know what happens when the world ends. At least this isn't okay.
Good afternoon, you guys. Actually, welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday? No, today is Thursday. It's the last day of February. Let me fix you. I'm always having trouble with like fixing the camera and stuff like that. Let's go straight into what this video is gonna be about. Actually, I'm about to get ready because I really want to go out today, get out of my house. I thought it was a good idea to do like a little get ready with me, spend the day with me doing bookish stuff while also talking about books, my favorite books and what I read in February. Actually, we're not talking about my favorite books, we're talking about the books that I read in February, which I do have them in a little list on my Notion. I use Notion for like organizing my whole life. So oh my gosh, I need my little thing to not mess up my hair. Okay, so I use Notion so that I can keep track of the books that I read, put the rating and the month that I read it and all that stuff, and if I ended up reading the whole book or if I DNF the book. Let's talk about the first book that I read, which was Crescent City. I read it in about a week, and you guys know how much I love old Sarah J Maas books, so that book was absolutely insane. It's not my favorite out of the series by Sarah J Maas, of course. Throne of Glass is my favorite, but it was a good read. I gave it a 3.8. And what I'm using right now is Rare Beauty. This one is the tinted moisturizer. It's the one that I always use before everything. Now I'm gonna use the concealer from Sephora, which I love. But the second book that I read was Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. And this ended up being my first 5-star read of the year. That book was absolutely insane. I have so many quotes from that book. I absolutely adore that book. I'm going to reread it this year later on and the next few years because it was insane. I absolutely adore that book. Once again, if it's not clear, I absolutely adore that book. Seriously, you need to read it if you haven't. And the writing, she has become one of my favorite authors. Next book that I read was The 7-Year Slip, which is more like little romance. I did like it. And this book, I gave it 4 stars. I didn't expect for it to be fantasy, but it is. It's not like a small romance. It's actually good. Like it has a little plot. You know, when sometimes when you're reading like some romances, they're very, very romance-based and they just talk about the relationship of the people in there. And it's not like super interesting. It's just like, oh, this is like a little romance and that's it. But no, this book has a little plot that I really, really like with magic and stuff. So do recommend. Next one was Yours Truly. This one is a little romance. It doesn't have any magic, any fantasy, any like, you know, well, it's fantasy because it didn't happen. Is that how you say it? No, it's fiction. It's fiction because it didn't happen in real life, but it is not fantasy. One thing that I loved about this book was that the main character and the female main character and the male main character both are adults. They're both doctors, and I freaking love when they're not teenagers because I feel more identified with the characters. So that was a plus. If you're an adult, if you're in your 20s, you will understand the struggle of reading like high schoolers and stuff. It's not the same because you don't feel like connected with the characters. You feel like that's a little unrealistic, finding the love of your life when you're like 17, 16, stuff like that. I did like that a lot about that book. I do recommend Yours Truly. Next one was Penance. Penance. I don't know how to say it. This was my first DNF of February. I just couldn't do it. I thought it was a little bit repetitive and slow, and it just didn't catch my attention at all. It's about like a crime that someone committed, and they're interviewing the people that commit the crime, which is like 3 girls teenagers, and why they did it. But I just didn't like any character. I didn't like the girls, of course. I wasn't interested in why they did it. I was just like, okay, these are just mean girls that wanted to do something weird and bad for someone. To someone, actually. Couldn't do it anymore, and I had to DNF the book. wasn't for me. That's okay. You're allowed to DNF books that you do not like. Next one, Bright. I made a whole reading blog with this book. I absolutely love that book very, very much. The ending was kind of weird, to be honest. I didn't expect the ending at all, but apparently something that is normal in those type of books. I think they're called omega bursts. Don't call me on that, I don't know. Apparently what happened that I thought that it was super weird is actually normal, so I'm not gonna say like, oh my gosh, she's so creative, or oh my gosh, this is so weird, because although it is weird, it's normal in that type of thing. I gave this book a 4 stars out of 5 stars, so apparently I do recommend. Next 2 books that I read were from the library. The first one was The Will of the Many. This is fiction, and I gave it 2.8 or 3 stars. I run it out to 3 stars actually in here. And this is so funny because I was just editing the video about that, so I have it in my mind. This was a very long book for me. That's what I said literally in the video that I just edited. This book was about 700 pages, and you can feel the 700 pages, and it's a little complicated to understand. I didn't enjoy it that much for that, and let's be honest, I'm just a girl, so I rate my books based on vibes and how much I enjoyed the book, and this one didn't have as much romance as I would like in a book, so I wasn't eager to continue to read. This one, I think it's gonna be a trilogy, and I'm not really sure if I'm gonna continue with the book series because I'm not, like I said, I'm not really like into it. But I heard a lot of good reviews about the book. Let me know if you have read it and if you liked it as much as other people have liked it, because I've seen people literally obsess with these books. Next one that I read from the library, and the second one that I read from the library, was called The Do-Over, and this is a cute little romance. This one is with high schoolers, so it wasn't my favorite, of course, because of that. It also has a little bit of magic, which I enjoy because I didn't expect it. I went into the book without knowing a thing, and I didn't expect the magic, but I enjoy it. So I gave this book a 2.8. If you're in high school, I think you will enjoy it more than I did. If that makes you think about it. Think if you want to read it or not. The next one that I read was a 4-star read, and it's called The Storied Life of A.G. Fikry. I don't know how to say that last name, but you guys, this is the same author of Tomorrow, and I love this book. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars was because it didn't like completely destroy me, which Tomorrow did destroy me. That's the only reason. But I did enjoy it a lot, and I'm still waiting to see where I can watch the movie, because apparently there's a movie, and I watched the trailer, and I almost threw up because of how many feelings I was feeling about the characters and how incredible it is to be able to watch a movie or a TV show based on the characters that you already know and seeing them like in real life interacting with each other. Seeing the trailer gave me a lot of feelings, and I cannot wait to find somewhere I can watch the movie because I do not have Hulu, so there's no possible way for me to do that. Okay, last book. IDNF, which is Butcher and Blackbird. I had it on my Kindle and I just couldn't do it anymore. This book is dark romance. I just realized I am definitely not a dark romance girly. I couldn't do it. This book has a lot of descriptive stuff about murdering, like very descriptive, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I just didn't enjoy it. I thought that the book didn't have a plot. Like there's no plot. They're just like killing people and like doing weird stuff to people, and I just don't understand how people enjoy that, because I cannot, and I did not. So I stopped reading it. I want to do something super fun right now, which is picking my books from March. So let's do that right now. I ask you guys on Instagram your favorite books, or like the books that you think that I should read next month. And I'm gonna write it in a piece of paper, and we're gonna put them on a little container. and we're going to read those books. I think that we can pick up 7. What do you guys think? 7, it's like a good one. And if I have anything like any more time missing in March, I can just like pick whatever. So we're gonna make a mix of the books that you guys recommend, the books that I have in my TBR, my physical TBR, and a mix of the books that I want to read. And we're gonna put them on the little container, take 7, and see which books I'm gonna read in March, so that I have like everything like more in my mind. Let's do that right now. Okay, actually I came downstairs because I thought it would be easier if I print the whole thing. I have all your responses from Instagram saved up, and also on TikTok I ask you as well. So I'm just gonna take them all and I'm gonna put them on a little like Word document or like Canva and stuff with like little lines so that I can cut them, and we're going to see how that turns out to be. You can actually do this as well at home. I think it would be like a good idea to like pick up the books without you being able to like pick them up yourself and stress about it if you're super indecisive like I am. Oops. I don't know why. Good recommendation, I think so. Last one. Let's do The Inmate, because this girl said it's a psychological thriller and I read it in a day, could not stop until I figured out what happened. So good, and I want to feel that way, so we're gonna do that. The Inmate. Okay, let's print this out, let's cut it off, and let's do what we need to do. Oh. It's the time that we were all waiting for. Okay, so we're gonna do 7 books for this month. I'm actually excited. I'm gonna keep doing this because it's exciting to like, I don't know, not know and then let someone else pick for you. Okay, so we're gonna pick 1. Oh, there's 2 in here actually. Okay, Binding 13, number 1. Number 2, Realm Breaker. I don't know why I'm holding my face like that. Realm Breaker. Those are 2. We got 5 more. Oh, why am I taking like, they're all like mixing, like they're all kind of like getting together. Okay. Twisted Love. Black Cake. Those are 4. The Prison Healer. 6, something from Lisa. This is more of like a prompt that you guys gave me. One of you told me something from that author. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 1 more. Ooh, I drop it. Nightingale. Okay, so we have our 7 books for this month. I'm gonna actually put the little list in here. Again, if I find out that I have more time to read other books, of course I'm gonna do it. And let me know if you have any other ideas so that I can pick my TBR for April. I already have in mind some books that I wanna read in April. She's right here. She's gonna say bye. I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy it. And let me know if you have any suggestion for a future video. I love you.